this?
Oh, he resigned.
Oh, resign.
Retiring as a single person.
Oh. So, he's not really.
Sarah, I got you whenever you're ready.
Oh, we are?
5 o'clock, everybody. Everybody please rise. Councilman Wright will give an invocation. Councilman Almijo will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you again for another opportunity to be here and take care of the city's business. God, I pray that you would guide us and give us wisdom. God, we pray that you would have your way in so many events that are happening in our nation and worldwide. God, in times like this when it is so uncertain, we have to lean into our trust in you. God, I pray that you would give us an excellent meeting today. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please have a seat. Thank you, everybody who is here with us. Particularly, thank you, Councilman Wright, for coming back with us here. And we appreciate your wisdom and all the time you spent with the city helping us, being part of us. All right, first item we have here is public comments. I believe we have one public comment available here. Sorry, I think you want to have a public comment with us? This,
Yeah, I have a request.
yes, sir. If you would please go to the microphone over there and
Have a handout.
if you want to, yes, sir. And give us your name and your address, please, for the record.
My name is David Otis. I live at 200 Charlie Cove, Centerville. I am a general contractor and I've built a significant amount of homes in both Centerville and Austin County. I've come before you to discuss the fee that's been charged for the use of dumpsters. Previously, before I was suggested that I come to the council, I spoke with Mike Bloomfield and I also talked with the mayor to just discuss what I'm going to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was the fees that are being charged for dumpster service. On your first handout, on page 1, 2, and 3, are places that I'm building right now. And these are dumpster fees that have been charged. And these addresses all in Centerville, and this is, for example, on the first handout, which was 92 in Pembroke Point, we had 5 pulls of the dumpsters and it was $2,600. On the second handout, we had a dumpster in the driveway and it was delivered and pulled one time, and the homeowner was charged $720 for the use of it, one dumpster and one pull. And when they got this bill, which they have to pay to me, they thought it was quite excessive and wouldn't pay it. I wound up paying the bill to Centerville. Bill 3 is the same. There's another lot that's being, we're required to use your dumpsters, and there's been 6 pulls and the average fee is $500. So the fees for using the Centerville dumpster service, somewhere between $500 and $700 per pull. What I've, on the 4th page, these are the fees that are charged by another company for the exact same service. So on that, you can see that every pull, regardless of time or use or whatever, the fee is a straight $375, which is totally different from how Centerville bills. So we'll just continue on that. And I also notice that the last line on their bill is sometimes you will get a load of stuff that has a concrete or brick or something, and they'll add $100 to it if it goes over a certain weight limit. But on the majority of time, every dumpster only costs $375, and on the average, it's very unusual that we exceed the limit. So what we're comparing, if you go to number 4, page 4, is we're comparing the Centerville cost of a dumpster using the exact figures that were provided by Centerville. Is we see that the average cost of a dumpster is $533 per pull. When you compare that, if we had 11 on those 3 houses, if you compare that to what I would pay if I used my own service, I'd be paying $4,000. I'd be paying $1,700 less for me to use my own service, or just another company. I don't own the company that provides the service. They just provide the service. Now, currently, we have 2 homes under construction, or 3 homes under construction. There's going to be 2 more, and then there's going to be another 2 starts all in Centerville. So this matters to me because there's going to have to be a continuing discussion on the cost of these dumpsters. I'd like to go to the 4th page, and the 5th, and that is the City of Centerville application for service. When I spoke to the mayor, he said that there's a contractual obligation or something to that effect that says we have to use the city's dumpsters. Well, I've read this very carefully, and there's nothing in here that says that I have to use their dumpsters. It does say that I have to, for the use of the waters or the rights or leeways or everything, I have to abide by those, or anything that's on plats for right-of-ways into water, sewer renewals. And that's what it says here. As people look at this, and I'm assured me there's nothing in this agreement that says I'm required to use specifically a dumpster from Centerville. Now, in the next sheet, I'd like to point out that I do build in all of Houston County, Bibb County, Peach County. No one else requires a dumpster service except Centerville. And when you call these folks and ask them why they don't, their answer is that it's not a required product. It's not like garbage pickup or water providing or whatever the case may be. They don't regulate who you buy from or whatever. Centerville, for whatever reason, is the only one that does that. And I understand that it's just my opportunity to present to you today, and then you'll come back and explain that to me. And I would like to understand why Centerville requires that and no one else does. The last sheet I provided you is the last 2 bills that I got from Centerville that haven't been paid yet. And I just wanted to show you that one of the bills is, and this doesn't even include the drop-off fees, is over $500. So that pickup, if you include a pickup fee, is going to be $700 or $800 for the use of one dumpster for 1 pull, compared to $375. Now, what I'm requesting from the city is I'm requesting that one of 3 things. I'm requesting that the city, and I don't mind using the city's service so long as they charge me $375, which is exactly what I could pay someone else to do the same job. And that would be the thing. The second thing is, if they don't want to charge me $375, then I'm requesting that I be allowed to use any other service that I so choose as to reduce my costs. And the last thing I'd like to point out is that the city of Centerville doesn't, when they run their own business, I don't know what the city says to a supplier of anything that the city needs, that, oh, we're gonna require you, the city, to pay a higher fee because we say so. And I know that the council has put in place to make sure that things are run fairly. And this is not fair. This is not fair for the Centerville to dictate that I have to use a service that's not a municipal requirement and is not required by anybody else. So what I'm asking for is for you, again, number one, to allow me to use any service. Number two, for you to, I'll use your service if you charge me a representative fee. And the third thing is, these bills that were sent that weren't paid, I ask that they be reduced or removed from my account. These are just going to be more excessive charges that haven't been paid yet. Yes, any questions? I've said what I'd like to have you review.
So, Mr. Rhodes, Councilman Armijo, and I'm over the Department for Public Works.
Okay.
And so what I would like to do, sir, is I jotted down the 3 points that you made about the $375 is what you want to be charged. You want to be or allowed to use other sources to reduce the cost. And also you pointed out that you don't believe it's a municipal requirement, and so you'd like to have some bills removed or reduced. Correct. Those are, did I get that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do is I'm going to take, because I need to look into it, so I'll take your information that you have provided, and I'll contact you, and once we've got our information back together, to sit down with you and explain where we're at.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
I have a question. Mr. Bromfeld, could you please review for us the ordinance change to the disposal that we discussed in the last meeting? I don't have the papers in front of me. Was there a change to the dumpster cost in that?
Yes, sir. Sometime, I want to say in April, the new roll-off fees went into effect. It was, obviously before your tenure, but mayor and council approved the new roll-off fees, which were $200 per pool. And I don't have the actual documents in front of me tonight, but I can provide them to Councilman Armijo. He can work with y'all.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a new change that was
Yes,
coming, or if
it
it was
is.
a change that had already been previously.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, we voted on it a good ways back, and part of that agreement was it would go into effect.
It was actually voted
Good
on
ways,
at the beginning of the year, but the roll-off fees didn't go into effect till like 90 days later to give everybody a chance to get cut, to learn of the changes and to get accustomed to it. But I'll provide all that to Councilman Armijo and yourself.
Yeah, basically what it amounts to is a roll-off fee of $200. And then they have a landfill fee. It was when they go out and dump it at the landfill, what the landfill charges them, that fee comes back to them.
That's correct.
So,
Plus any rental fees. if it's
yeah,
not
other
in.
places may use other landfills somewhere. We use the House and County landfill. So we're not gonna discuss it tonight though. Councilman Meal, you say you take that on?
Yes,
Okay, let's do it that way. Okay?
so, yeah,
Let me just add one other thing. When you were talking about, this is not a unique problem to me, because when I spoke with you, sir, I know you told me about other people who have discussed the same thing with you. You mentioned that someone who owned his own company was not allowed to bring his own dumpster on his own property. And so I know this is not unique, that other people, I don't know if they spoke with you, but they certainly disagree with this policy. And as far as ever being notified, I don't know, I was never notified of anything, nor am I given a choice to say I agree. And had I been, I would have been here in January to discuss these kind of things, to say that there are other opportunities for the council for people to have lower fees than they're paying now.
Yes, sir. We have been looking into this a little while because we've made a few tweaks to the roll-off ordinance here, even as recently as about 2 weeks ago. We made some changes to it, some adjustments to it. There is a one of the, or at least what has been expressed to me, is that one of the perceived benefits of using a single company, requiring the use of a single company, is because they are the sanitation contractor for the entire city. We have a relationship with them, and we can ensure that they are handling their roll-offs and their pulls appropriately. It is not uncommon for somebody to call and get the best deal they can on a dumpster, and then I've heard numerous stories of people going, I can't get these people to call me back, and then one company won't come pick up another company's dumpster. You've got a dumpster sitting in somebody's yard, and so there is a clawback sort of feature for us where we have it, because of the relationship we have with them, we're able to push them a little bit further. But I think what mayor and council have to make the decision on, is it worth it? Are we getting enough of a return in turn for what we're sort of trading off with the higher charge? So, like as the mayor said, this is something that we gotta answer a few more questions on. I think everybody's been taking good notes while you were talking. We're gonna
Also keep in mind that ordinance is not part of the new stuff. That ordinance has been a city ordinance for the 40 years I've worked here. That you were saying that you had to use the city can, but I mean, that's nothing new. It's an ordinance. It's not it. That's why you get fined in the application.
Yeah, I was going to mention that to you. It's not in that application because it's a city ordinance. It's contained somewhere else. But that's something that we have been looking into. We've been sort of revising it piece by piece over the last few months.
So I'll follow back up with you, Mr. Otis, and we'll sit down and talk.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further public comments out there tonight? Okay, please, you know how to do it.
Hi, Susan Lemmy, 219 Mason Drive, Centerville, Georgia. On the agenda today is an approval to apply for recovery funds for Baydall Creek sewer line. Being that our advance notice as citizens is usually an agenda without very much detail, it is hard sometimes to know what comments to make to agenda items. I have concerns about the Baydall Creek drainage area because a large ditch runs behind my house. That is drainage going on down towards Baydall Creek from paved areas in Centerville that have been paved during the last 20-30 years, where this much water was not directed down that ditch when it was originally created as an easement, but does go down there now. There are several property owners affected by this ditch that runs behind their houses, both on my block and on the block behind me. When we are doing improvements on the streets that create more water and drainage into our sewage and drainage lines, I do hope that there is more global planning for where that water is going and how it's going through the easements, and whether the easements that exist can currently handle it without eating into people's property or interfering with their enjoyment of their own property. I've heard a complaint that somebody put a fence into that ditch. The ditch actually was redirected by a neighbor and has eaten my fence off my backyard, which used to have at least a 3-foot clearance to the edge of the ditch, if not more. So I don't know if that's the subject of the sewer line. It's drainage from Centerville, but there's no way to know from the information provided on the agenda.
You have to know the definitions of what's sewer and what's wastewater.
Well,
Sewer actually goes when you commode. It does not, no water draining from your house or any other place goes into the sewer. But it is, you got a broken sewer line somewhere.
Okay. Well,
Then the other part has to do with stormwater.
I had a problem with the definition between stormwater and runoff as well.
Okay, well, stormwater and runoff are basically the same thing.
That's what I thought.
Ms. Lindy, I'd encourage you to go either to the front window up front and do a hard copy form, or to go to the website and fill out a citizen request for action. Because I promise you that Director Brumfeld would have somebody come and take a look at that easement if there's an issue. But this happens to us a lot where we're not made aware of an issue until it gets into a council meeting sometimes. And people say, well, I didn't want to, I didn't know who to talk to, didn't know the best way to get that process started with the city is to file that. What used to be called the citizen complaint form. We changed the name of it because people had trouble with that word complaint. People don't want to be seen as a complainer. But it's a request for action. It's just a request for the city to come and take a look at it. And we'd be glad to do that. If you fill that form out, we'll make sure somebody comes and takes a look at it.
Okay, please do.
All right. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. All right. Any further public comments? All right. Let's go to item number 2 then, which is on the old business. It's the second public hearing, notice of proposed property tax increase, and I've got that one. And I'm gonna read what we put out there, and then I'll open it to a public session for public comments. The City of Centerville Mayor and Council today announces intention to increase the 2021 property taxes that will levy by 4.2% over the rollback millage rate. Each year, the Board of Tax Assessors is required to review the assessed value for property tax purposes of taxable property in the city. When the trend of taxes, the prices on properties that have recently sold in the city indicates there has been an increase in the fair market value of any specific property, the Board of Tax Assessors is required by law to redetermine the value of such property and adjust the assessment. This is called assessment. When the total digest of taxable property is prepared, Georgia law requires a rollback millage rate which must be computed that will produce the same total revenue on the current year digest that last year's millage rate would have produced had no reassessments occurred. The City of Centerville Mayor and Council has made the decision to maintain the 2021 millage rate at 11.944, which is the same as the 2020 millage rate. By law, this must be advertised as a property tax increase. We're required to have 3 public meetings prior to this, and this is meeting number 2. We had one earlier this morning. And total increased revenues for fiscal year 2022 that proposed millage rate will generate represents a 3.32% increase over the 2020 tax levy. This increase requires 3 public hearings, etc. By not rolling back the millage rate, the city will gain additional income of $76,783 over the 2020 city taxes levied to help fund the fiscal year 2022 general fund budget of $5,541,669. This $76,783 is anticipated income only since 100% of property taxes would have to be collected to realize this full amount. Since the proposed millage rate of 11.944 is being maintained as last year's rate, the only way a property owner would see an increase in property taxes is if their property has been reassessed at a higher value during the year. The note here is that proposed tax increase for a home with a fair market value of $100,000 is approximately $19.24. In other words, if your house did actually increase by $100,000 in value, mine increased by $20,000. Then it'd be $19.24. My increase is about $3.85 a year for mine. So I hope that explains to everybody. Okay, at this point then, what I'm going to do is just go into a public comment session. All right, I close the council meeting and I've opened the public comment session. Is there anybody here who wishes to make any comments at the public session? I don't see anybody out there. I have a few comments that I'd like to make in this, I think. There we go. Since 2016, coming to date, as of today, we have 305 new residential home permits. And we have not had a tax increase in all those years at all. If I look at this, our highest taxes was in 2010, it was 12.001. Now we're down to 11.944, which is what we're talking about maintaining. In the last, 2016 it was 11.972. 2017, 11.972. 2018, we had a drop to 11.971. 2019, maintained the same 11.971. 2020, we had a drop to 11.944, which is what we're talking about doing now, having that same rate. You know, at the same time, the taxpayers out here, support a senior tax exemption, which is a good thing. But we support it by the millage rate. In the last 10 years, that senior tax exemption has basically realized savings to the citizens out there. In other words, the people who took the tax exemptions of $2,497,097, $210. So $2,497,210. That's over a 10-year period. And that's basically that's quite a bit of money. Yeah, that's about our current budget. Right, pretty close to our current budget. And the other thing to keep in mind here is, we get some additional taxes from other things like the insurance rates. We get some franchise fees and some other things. The police and fire department is over $3 million in this year's budget. It's coming up. Our taxes are about 2.3 million. We estimate 2.347 million, something like that.
Yeah, we estimated that.
So, in other words, people's taxes do not support fire and police. We just don't have that much. But we're able to work it because, we have some good people in the city, and they can take squeeze a turn. They do a good job out there. Squeeze a beat, I guess it's called. But they do a good job on it. So that's just some comments I want to make in relation to that. I mean, like I said, I know my millage rate, my taxable property has gone up in value. So I know some other people's has too. I think most of the people in the council, y'all went up, didn't so? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. Anybody else in the public session want to say anything?
Mr. Mayor, I would say that, when you do look at the senior exemption, that this year's is gonna be somewhere around $293,000, I believe. And then next year it's gonna be more, so it's gonna continue to go up. So we're gonna continue to have to find funding sources for the budget, to allow our senior citizens to continue to receive that exemption. So, it's a dilemma that we're gonna have to continue to deal with.
Mayor, I'll just add that I think that in addition to all those things that you and the Councilman Evans said, which I agree with and I think are accurate, we do need to be mindful of our spending and of the budgets that we are using. I know that there have already been some discussion this year from some department heads about reappropriating things from one account to another and changing some things around. And I think that is something that Mayor and Council has been very generous in the past in allowing department heads to do that. And I think in a budget year like this, where the budget is tight and where we're raising taxes and saying that we're concerned about, I know that we're saying we're leaving the tax rate the same, but if you're paying more taxes, it's a tax increase, no matter what the state requires us or doesn't require us to call it. But I don't think it is. I don't think we're doing our best service to the citizens if we say that this increase is necessary, and then at the end of the year we're saying, well, we had money left over here, so let's spend it here, let's spend it there. If we find ourselves in that situation, because we do have good managers, as the mayor said, we need to be willing to let that money roll back into the general fund and go back to the budget process again next year. It is just amazing how many emergencies seem to come up about 6 weeks before the end of the fiscal year, and it's just. We have a disastrous time in the city of Centerville 6 weeks before the end of the fiscal year. And I think Mayor and Council needs to be very aware of that as we walk through this next year, because again, we are in a little bit of an uncertain time and not knowing quite what revenues are going to do and what things are going to look like. So that's all from me, Mayor. Thank you.
Good. Ms. Carroll, do you have to recall closely how much money we rolled over from last year's into this year's that was not spent?
As far as the general fund goes,
Just the general fund.
it really, even with a lot of transfers, I think we're going to have just a small appropriation of fund balance, just because we had.
Well, how much wasn't spent out of last year's budget?
I don't have that exact number.
Right, there was some money there, wasn't it? So what I'm saying is we didn't spend everything at the last minute to go around and do it. I don't think we did. It was quite a bit. Actually went over. But even doing all that, we did this new budget. We actually planned to take over $900,000 from enterprise funds to make the budget work, right?
That's right.
And since then, though, we were able, under the offer, able to get $277,000 from lost revenues from the past we're able to apply back to this. We dropped that down to about a little over $600,000.
That's correct.
It's still coming out of enterprise funds. And I know, I feel certain that our department heads are going to try to keep their spending down as much as they can. They have done that every year. I don't think anybody's ever spent all their budget, thank goodness on that. But we have to be ready for contingencies. I think we just had if I recall, we had a well go down. That was not planned for. I mean, but you got to have some money in the budget there to handle something like that when it happens. Apparently, you remember how that happened, right? When the well goes down, what happens? You got to fix it. You better have some money for it. So I'm proud of the way the city's done this over the years. Very proud of the way we've done it. But we do have to actually pay attention, and he's absolutely correct. He made us, I shouldn't say he, Councilman Wright made an accurate statement here a couple months ago about we can't continue taking money from the enterprise fund. And he's absolutely right. We need to be able to live on what we actually give.
Well, let me clarify that a little bit, Mayor. I agree with you. I think that my point that I made a couple weeks ago, and I'll make it tonight, is that I think that we certainly should continue to plan to move money over from the enterprise fund. That is what it's for. That's what the legislature put that law in place, was for us to be able to do that. What I was concerned about was watching the rate of increase of money that we were moving over. Every year we were moving exponentially more money from water and sewer enterprise funds over to the general fund, and that's just something that we need to be cautious of, because if we continue to pull it out at a rate greater than what we're putting it in there, we continue to rely on that money. I'm glad we got the ARPA money. I'd like to say that we can't count on the federal money. The federal government will always be giving us money, although it seems like every 2 days they're trying to give us more money. But I think that the more we can stand on our own 2 feet, the better. And I think that my concern, I guess, is not the process of moving money over from enterprise funds, and that's what it was created for. My concern was the rate in which we're doing it sometimes. We just need to exercise caution, Mayor.
Thank you. I agree with that.
And Mr. Mayor, I think right along the line with that is in the last few years, we've been doing a lot of capital projects and things. And the good thing about that is that we pay cash for them. We don't have any debt, which is important. So we have been generating funds in the enterprise fund and being able to pay cash for things instead of having to go into debt to pay for them. So we can keep that under consideration also.
That's right. Anybody else have any comments? Great. We're out of public session, back in the regular session. Okay, item number 3 is resolution street name change, Center Park Circle to Veterans Drive. Councilman Armijo, Director of Operations, Brumfield, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I think in your package you should have a copy of the resolution that Ms. Tidings has worked on with Ms. Benningfield. I guess tonight we're just looking for approval. Of that resolution.
Okay.
And I thought you were gonna have it open for public comments for a few minutes.
You wanna do that? Okay,
We can.
we certainly can. I have no problem with that. All right. I'm gonna open for public comment.
There was a public comment period that was open on our website from the previous council meeting until this council meeting. There were no public comments received during that 2-week period.
If anybody wanted to make a comment here tonight, they certainly could have done it in the earlier public comment sessions.
Or they can now if they want.
But yeah.
Does
So
anybody
if
have
there is none, I'm gonna close out the public session, back to regular council meeting. So Councilman Armijo, you wanna make a motion?
So Mayor, make a motion, that we approve the resolution, the resolution officially changing the name of Center Park Circle to Veterans Drive.
Okay, I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on this?
Mayor, this one, we have two motions, we have 2 resolutions here in our packet today. This was
Yeah,
the one.
That's on the next line.
That's on the next line, but I don't really want to read the next one because it is kind of boilerplate language, but I don't know if you might want to take a moment and read, or have somebody read this resolution. It's pretty brief, but it kind of explains what we're.
Okay, Councilman Armijo, would you
Okay,
read it,
so-
please?
Okay, so the resolution says, whereas the mayor and council of the city of Centerville, as provided by the laws of the state of Georgia, and is authorized by the city charter, section 9, constitutes the legislative department of the city's government. And whereas the mayor and council as a city legislative body and in accordance with the city charter have full power and authority over all matters related to security, health, and well-being of the citizens of Centerville. And whereas the mayor and council desire to publicly honor all military veterans by naming the street accordingly, then now therefore be it so resolved that the street located within Center Park, which is currently named Center Park Circle, shall be renamed Veterans Drive. And be it further resolved that city staff are hereby immediately to order and install signage display the new street name. And be it also further resolved that any and all resolutions or any part thereof in conflict with this resolution are hereby repealed. Then be it finally resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon adoption by a majority vote of the mayor and council of the city of Centerville.
Okay. Yeah, this is a street that we just saw put a name on. It was never officially named or anything. And it's just a good opportunity to do something to honor the veterans out there. Anybody have any further discussion? Here now, I call for the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It passes. We will now sign this resolution. The next item here is a proposed street name change on public place dedication ordinance. And they have my name on that one. But you're absolutely right. We've discussed this ordinance a number of times out here. And there's many pages to this thing. But basically provides a method where people want to make a change to a street that already has a street name that's authorized in it, not like the last one we just did. Then there's a method now to use to go by and request that change. Does anybody have any more comments or thoughts about that? Okay, we've had this a couple of times before in the council, so I'm assuming everybody's read it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'll call for motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay.
For clarification, Mayor, do we have a motion and a second on that item?
Oh, you get,
Mayor,
we have a motion and
I'll
second.
move for adoption. We didn't have.
I'll second that
Yeah.
motion.
Okay. Motion and second. Do it again.
And I'll call for the question.
Yeah, I'll call the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, it passes. All right, item number, on the new business now, item number 5, a home-based business license. Booth Hill Closing, 161 back, Cedar Lane, owner Delvin April Golden, Councilman Wright, and City Clerk Benfield, please.
I don't believe that the business owners, the applicants are here, but this would be an online business where they will be selling toddler clothing through various online marketplaces, and it does not appear, it meets all of our qualifications. It would not affect their neighbors or their streets in any way. So, Mayor, at this time, I move that we approve their application for a home-based business as it is written.
Okay, I have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Welcome to the city. Thank you so much for being business partners with the city. Always glad to have more business partners. Item number 5 here is the Centerville Independence Day Celebration Fireworks Contract. Councilman Meade? Was it? Okay. Item number 6 on new business is the Centerville Independence Day Celebration Fireworks Contract. Councilman O'Neill and Director Martin Hogan, please.
Okay, so we're gonna pass this to Ms. Hartley.
Mayor and Council, you should all have in front of you our 2022 firework proposal and agreement. After direction of Councilman Armijo, I'm seeking approval to move forward with our 2022 contract for fireworks. The proposed show date is for Saturday, July 2nd, 2022. This date is in line with the pattern of Independence Day celebrations in the past. The vendor for this year's show is Pyrotechnica. We currently have a $1,000 credit with them left over from our 2019 show. The contract is for $11,500, but with the $1,000 credit, we will be getting a show value of $12,500. This is a 20% increase from our past year's show, and this is a budget item. The contract needs to be completed and returned in order to secure our show date of July 2nd, 2022.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Sure, Mayor, I make a motion that we approve this contract for the pyrotechnical.
Okay, have a motion, have a second?
Yes, you do, second, sir.
Can we assume that the city attorney's reviewed this contract? I know it's probably the same contract, but
It's the same contract in the years past that we've used prior to,
Yeah,
but
just
nothing
with
has changed.
you never want to assume it's the same contract. That's how.
We can make sure that city attorney tidings reviews it before I officially submit it.
Yeah, I think we would want to have a review contract we sign there,
I agree.
especially one for $20,000+.
It's for $12,500,
Okay, 12,000. Well, still.
or $11,000 with our $1,000 contract for credit.
I mean, if Mr. Romero will amend his motion to that we authorize the mayor to sign it once the city attorney has reviewed it, I think that will be fine.
Okay, if you read the amendment?
Sure. So I amend the motion that the mayor will be able to sign this after we've gotten confirmation that the city attorney has reviewed the contract and has approved it.
Second.
And you say?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any additional comments, anybody? Okay, all in motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Looking forward to it.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, we have a point of information on the GMA Health Grant. Councilman Amido and Director of Marketing Logan, please.
Okay, so again, I will pass this to Ms. Hartley.
Thank you very much. Mayor and Council, I wanted to inform you all of our grant application submissions for the 2022 GMA Health Promotion and Wellbeing Grant. The purpose of the grant is to conduct or improve workplace health promotion and wellness programs. The city received the grant in 2018 where we received $4,500, and this past year in 2020 where we received $5,000. Activities planned for the 2022 or 2021 grant, include seasonal flu shots for all employees, 2 lunch and learn programs, a water bottle giveaway, and 2 new AEDs. 1 additional AED will be placed at the police department, and then a new AED for City Hall. The new AED for City Hall was recommended by Chief Jones, as the current one is old and needs updates and new supplies. I have estimated a total of $4,700 for these activities, giveaways, and supplies. And the grant application was submitted on Friday, as the due date was yesterday.
Right. So this is a point of information. I like all these different things, the flu shots, lunch and learn program for American Heart Month. I went to that last year. I saw that was a good program. World Health Day on April 7th. April lunch and learn program, stress relief. My doctor says I need to do that too.
Perfect.
Okay, so good thing.
When do we expect to hear back?
For the last grant round, it was probably late August, early September before we received notice of the funds that we received and their notification of the grant.
We've received this one before.
2 years, yes, sir.
2 years running, okay.
2018 and 2020.
Excellent.
So 2019 we didn't get it.
I don't know if we applied for it in 2018.
Right, I don't
I'm
believe
not
we
too
did.
sure about that.
Yeah, I think we had other things going on at the time. Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. That was just point of information, we'll need to vote on it. All right. And item number 8 is approval to apply for state recovery funds on the offer for project Bagall Creek Sewer Line. Councilman Amido and Director of Operations, Brumfield, please.
Yes, sir, Director Brumfield.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, in your packet, you should have some, cost estimates for a Bagall sanitary sewer trunk main line that we would like to submit as a project for some of the ARPA money that the city is in line to receive this year. That project, like as I said, is the Bayjaw Creek Sanitary Sewer Main, which we have talked about for many years, the mayor and I, that it is a great need that the city needs to run sanitary sewer to the Dunbar Road area where we have a bunch of open fields and some housing that are on septic tanks that we could pick up on this line and be able to add them to our sanitary sewer system so we do not have to use septic tanks. This project cost estimate is $2,746,155.50. And we look for authority tonight to apply for these funds to accomplish this project and I believe others.
We have other eligible projects.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion this time so we can discuss it.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second, all right. Just fine. I know it. It worked out fine. We have until August the 31st to apply for these funds.
That's the deadline for the application, that's
the
correct.
deadline for the application, so we don't have a whole lot of time left to have to make the application. This is something we've looked at over the years, and it is a viable project that we can do. But ask for any more comments or questions.
I do appreciate the engineering company charging us that 50 cents on the end there. Makes it nice to see a 2.7 million and 50 cents tacked on there.
Oh.
That's what I have. Is this going to be? Is this concrete pipe that we're going to be?
No, sir, it'll be trunk line, which is some of it will be cast iron if it's underwater. Some of it will be plastic concrete line pipe. It's basically the same thing that we use all over.
Now, the only reason I ask is we were sort of in a class this past week at GMA on water management. They were saying that all the pipe that is concrete related is getting difficult to get our hands on right now.
Yes.
It's one of many things that there's a supply shortage.
Yes, and that could very well be an issue we run into. But the main issue right now is to get our application in on time.
Absolutely. Is there a window on these projects to get them completed once they get funded?
I believe so.
We have to have them obligated by 2024 and.
Okay, so we got a little. It's not 6 months or nothing. Okay, that one of the reasons I brought that up is that I hate to see us get into it and then not be able to get the materials and get crossed up with the funding on it. We've got a couple of years to get it squared away.
This particular program has a little bit longer date. You get it accomplished by money obligated than the other program did. Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion, anybody? If not, I'll call for question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Let's get that application in. Thank you, Ms. Carroll, for
Yeah,
all
we
your
working
things in
on
there.
it. With myself.
Yeah, and Mike, of course, he's been a proponent of this, doing this for years. We just haven't had the money to go do it.
I did just want to point out that, under the ARPA, we've already gotten our local recovery funds. This is totally separate. This is our state recovery funds. So
Our local recovery funds have to be used by a sooner date.
the same date, it's the same
No,
date.
they changed the dates again?
It's the same, we have to have it obligated by December 2024, spent by December 2026. The state funds the criteria is the same as the local. So if we could, submit this application and they approve that, then that would, help free up that local money for some other things we might need to do.
Right. We've got plenty of things we need to do. Exactly right. Okay, down to comments on the council. Post one, please.
I just want to thank the folks that came out for the public comments today. We can't work on those issues if we don't know about them. So communication is the key. And thanks again for coming out and making those comments. That's all.
Post two, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to echo what I said at our meeting 2 weeks ago. Is that you're here to hear us having some discussion and some debate and some back and forth on these issues. That a difference in opinion does not
equal dissent amongst the council, and that is what we are here for, is to hash these things apart and figure out what the best solution is proposed. So I think it is good when we have these discussions, and I think there was some agreeing and some conceding with every point that was made tonight. I think that it was in those moments where we find the laws and rules and regulations that are what is best for our citizens. So I love this process. I appreciate everybody up here having well-informed and strong opinions, and I look forward to continuing to working with all of you. So thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Oh, sweet.
So, Mr. Mayor, I just want to say, thank you to all of our department heads and our city workers for the effort that you put in every day, to provide the services that we provide to our citizens. Thank you for staying on top of issues such as the ones we just discussed, the times and dates that we need to have things done so that we can provide these services to our citizens. To the council members, just for the discussion, points are always made. Sometimes an individual may think about them, sometimes they don't. So it gives us an opportunity just to share those things and to learn. And I just appreciate the opportunity to serve.
Let's vote, please.
So, I got a little different tone. I wanted to talk about, everybody's responsibility when you go to Center Park. And the reason I'm saying that is because when we put so much time and effort into developing such a nice park for everybody in the community and everybody in Houston County, I sort of like to think that everybody would assume some responsibility if they see something going on, to say something. Call 911. If you see somebody, bullying, or somebody marking up or breaking things or doing whatever, things that they should not be doing. The park is there for everybody's pleasure and enjoyment. And so we ask each of you as citizens and as friends of Centerville, please help us look after the park and ensure that if you see something and you don't think it's right, you don't feel it's right, certainly don't hesitate to call 911 so they can go out and protect our resources. Because what we allow to happen to our own city and our own community, we as taxpayers end up having to pay for that. And so help us help each other as a community. We got a beautiful, beautiful town, a beautiful city, and we just need to all work together to take care of it. So that's all I was going to say.
Okay, thank you very much. And I don't really have anything else to add to that. It's been a great council meeting. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everything that's going on in the city. I really appreciate all our department heads, every one of you out there for what you do to make the city look good, help the citizens out the way you do. Thank you very much. Council meeting is now over.